This week's episode is brought to you by DesignFix. Every company needs graphic design, but may not have the lofty budget to pay for it. So we decided to fix that. DesignFix is a pay-per-piece graphic design company that won't cost an arm and a leg. DesignFix also offers a full-service, unlimited design package for those who need more marketing materials than a one-off piece here and there. Whether you are in need of a simple graphic design refresh to existing marketing materials, or a single brochure, or a full advertising package, DesignFix will make your company look great without breaking the bank. Visit designfix.com. That's design, Fixx.com, and use code GenBlend for 15% off your first design. Again, that's designfix.com, design, Fixx.com, code GenBlend for 15% off your first design. DesignFix. Graphic design services without breaking the bank.
Welcome to GenBlend, a podcast about bridging the generational gap within marketing, hosted by Infuze.
Hey guys, it's Stacy Devine with Infuze Marketing. I'm the baby boomer in our group. And with me today, I have Matt Lantrip. He is our special projects manager at Infuze.
Hello.
And he's also a millennial. You know, I like to mix it up here.
I mean, most of our office is millennials, right?
We got a mix. I think we have a Gen Xer, we have a senior citizen. Yeah. So we mix it up. Today's subject is about podcasts. And the reason we have Matt doing this with me is because Matt is who actually records, manages, edits, and produces our podcasts here at Infuze.
Yeah, I have a background in film and specifically sound editing and video editing. So podcast was something I did for a long time down in LA with my buddies. And then when we came up here, I stopped it and I got this job and told them practically day one, hey, I used to do a podcast. And then you went, okay, you're going to do ours now.
And keep in mind, I had absolutely no idea what a podcast was. So, you know, I'm pretty much just that person who says, oh, the younger generation, they have cool ideas. Let's do it. And fortunately for us, Matt already had experience in that. But what I want to talk about today is one of the things I had to actually learn and understand, which is why podcast?
So pretty much podcast, at least for me, I listen to more podcasts than I read or even listen to music. For me, it's just intaking conversations. It's intaking knowledge. It's a new way of gathering things. And it's pretty much like talk radio, except without the commercial breaks. And you can get a wide variation of actual content and personality. So you can find specifically what you want.
From a business development standpoint, why podcast? Why would I, if I want to increase my business and my revenue, why would I podcast?
Anyone can start a podcast. You can do it about anything you want, any topic you want. It's cheap. It's easy. Pretty much anyone can do it. And for business-wise, there are so many businesses out there that essentially, instead of doing a blog now, they do a podcast. Or you do a podcast to go along with the blog. So that way you can either do tidbits on one and expand on the other. It's a great way to get interviews in. So that way you can actually create business by having other people from other businesses come in and talk to you about it. Cross-branding, you go to other people's podcasts. Now you got their listeners listening about your business and your brand. And it's pretty much just another way to market yourself. A, for cheap. B, it can set a tone and find the brand and the audience you want a lot easier because people seek you out instead of you having to find your audience.
I had asked you to gather some statistics about podcasts and why people should use them.
Yeah, there is a list. So let me make sure I get some of the most important ones. When it comes to podcasts, at least, so this is from Salesforce.com, a blog they did of a bunch of statistics about podcasting. In 2017, 56% of podcast listeners were male, 44% were female.
Interesting.
A couple years ago, it was almost 50-50. So it's like, yeah, it's growing. I think it's just fluctuating throughout the years. Mm-hmm. But finding either gender is really simple. It's not like you're trying to dig deep for like a niche thing. So it's practically splits Americans gender-wise. And then for the age range, the most popular age range is between 25 to 54. Pretty much the sweet spot of people who are still willing to learn about new products and new companies and new brands, and who are also at the point where they have the income to purchase those products and invest in those companies. Mm-hmm. Those two to me are like the two biggest sweet spots, because it's like, oh, okay, so pretty much the best target demographics are the ones who are already here, mm-hmm. and it's cheap to produce, easy to get into. All you got to do is just find someone who can actually do it right and make it sound good. and you're off to the races.
And on that note, just to throw in a sales pitch for us, Infuze will actually come to your location, set up your podcast, and go through this same process with you. So if you are interested in starting a podcast for your business or for yourself or your business practice, we will do that for you. We'll do every single thing, set up, recording, the mics will bring all the equipment, do the editing, and upload the final product.
A lot of places online that you'll see will be like, oh, we'll do a consultation call for like $250 with you to get you the equipment you need, kind of tell you how to use it. We're taking that out. We're just coming with all the equipment, everything you need. All you have to do is come in, sit down, talk, leave. We got the rest for you.
Our phone number is really easy to remember. It's 833-662-FUZE, F-U-Z-E. We set up all of our phone numbers that way, so...
Yeah. So, and also there's a link in the show description for infusemarketing.com and all our subsidiaries. But if none of that entices you, we did make a downloadable for you this week. It is a list of equipment you would need to start your own podcast. It's got stuff for high budgets, low budgets, and just things that you would universally need regardless. So go ahead and check that out. And there's a link in the show notes, or you can email hello@teamgenblend.com and we can send it to you.
Another thing that we should talk about is how do you brand your podcast? Because that was an important thing for me to learn as well. Again, old school. So everything I think when it comes to branding is that there needs to be a logo or an identity or a tagline. Is that important in a podcast?
Yeah, definitely. I would say logo's not near as important, at least for branding, because when we were trying to come up with ours, I was showing Allie, our graphic designer, here's a list of all the ones I listen to, and look how vastly different every single logo is. And it's like, okay, it's just whatever you feel fits you. But the thing with a podcast is you have to fit that brand, whatever you start with. It's just like any business. You can choose any style and brand what you want, but you have to stay on that path. You can't be like if we started just talking about like, I don't know, tech one day, it's not going to make as much sense as if we're talking about how tech is influencing marketing. You have to stay in your lane, but be really good at your lane.
So some expertise. I feel like there's a lot of radio shows out there, talk radio, where it's just opinions, but there's not necessarily expertise. And then you listen to others, and they're scientists running these shows.
Yeah.
And so you feel educated. And when you say that's kind of what podcasts do, but in a smaller snippet of information and time.
Yeah, I mean, people like ours stay under 15 minutes. There are others I listen to that are 2 hours weekly.
Jeez.
So, yeah, it really all depends. So there are actual scientists out there doing podcasts. There are comedians, there are filmmakers, there's people in marketing and business, and you can go learn the stock market off listening to 100 episodes of a podcast now.
Crazy.
So anything and everything is out there. It's all super niche, but if you start one, you just got to find your niche and stick with your niche. Otherwise, you will lose everyone, and inconsistency can kill a podcast really quick.
Well, I think inconsistency can kill pretty much anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
There's having a variety of ideas, and then there's stopping something that you started. So we say the same thing about social media. If you're going to post. But if you're not going to post, don't post. Just the inconsistency of it's going to cause people to think that you're not in for the long haul. Matt, appreciate all the information. Do you have anything else you want to add about podcasts, why they're important, any other details about that, or something else you want to share with people that you think is important for them to know?
Yeah, one last thing. If you're still kind of wondering why, obviously there's that demographic and everything that you want to hit, but 94% of podcast listeners are actively on social media. They're actively online. They're actively looking at brands. 63% of podcast listeners purchase a product or something that has been promoted by the host of a podcast. That is the highest return over every form of medium of people hearing it and seeing it and wanting it, because they're searching you out. They want what you're selling. They're more willing to take it instead of you being like, hey, do you kind of like me now? It's like, no, I like you a lot because I personally chose you. I trust your opinion over the other guy who I just randomly see on Facebook.
Interesting.
Yeah, and with 94% of them online already, integrates super easy into your social media, integrates super easy into everything you do. It's just right there. And pretty much everyone listens on a phone or tablet, so they're probably scrolling through social media while listening to you anyways. It just feeds into itself. Nothing but positivity.
That's great. Thank you so much for the information. Again, just another reminder that we actually do produce and develop podcasts. So if you're interested in having one done, don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks so much for your time, Matt. Until next time.
check out Infuze at infusemarketing.com. And our subsidiaries DesignFix, GoPresso, PixAndPost, and Sammy Social. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or your favorite podcast app. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.